Hello and welcome to the channel. I am Jamaluddin. Today we will be seeing why a calm mind is the entry into your consciousness or understanding yourself. Why is a calm mind important to understand yourself? For that, we will be seeing the scientific aspect of it, and we will compare it with the ancient wisdom of calmness in ancient Egypt and other spiritual scriptures. This is a Mind Fitness app. I am the founder of Mind Fitness. So Mind Fitness is the real-time mind assessment and training system using brainwaves or EEG. So this is actually a real-time brainwave graph of my meditation session. So we will see what is calmness according to our brainwaves, and what is the subjective experience when we are calm, and what is the wisdom mentioned in the ancient scriptures. So calmness, this is the real-time brainwave for the entire session. And the speciality of Mind Fitness system is Mind Fitness is the first system where you can see the brain waves according to your mind functions. So you can see your brain wave frequencies according to what is your mind function, like thinking, cognition, emotion, attention, sensation, etc. So not just looking at, into alpha, beta, gamma. So I've been trying to understand each subjective experience in the mind, and we compared it with our regular practice during meditation and different subjective experience, and compared, and through trial and error we were able to classify each brainwave frequencies according to functions of mind. So this is the understood brainwave frequencies in the Mind Fitness system. So mind has various functions, and the mind is divided into conscious mind, subconscious mind, and there we have lower conscious mind and lower subconscious mind, and higher conscious mind and higher subconscious mind, etc. So this classification is according to the ancient Egyptian wisdom, where they classified the mind into 4 categories. So if you look into the ancient Egyptian wisdom, there is a symbol called Jet pillar. So the Jet pillar is actually symbolizes the stable and still mind. So if you look into the jet pillar, there are 4 sticks tied with the pillar, that is the 4 categories. So from my research into the wisdom, what I could understand is the symbolism is the Egyptians identified the mind, the psyche into 4 categories. Conscious mind, they addressed it with Hathor. The subconscious mind, they addressed it with Anubis. Egyptian word is Inpu. And they classified the higher and lower mind with Sama, the higher mind, and the lower field. So the same translation, the same meaning can be found in the Quran as well. If you look into Quran, the same classification is there. The root, the meaning for the conscious mind, the Quran used the word insan, same like Hathor, and for the subconscious mind, the Quran used jinn. and for the higher mind it was, the Arabic word is sama, and for the lower mind it is arl. So if you compare these wisdom with the ancient Egyptian and the Quranic wisdom with the modern science into the brain waves, we can see the same thing as well. So if you look into the brain wave, according to the mind function, the lower functions are, the first function that we do in the mind is thinking. So the second is reasoning, the third is understanding. The layer, the 3 dimensions of our mind is, lower mind is thinking, reasoning and understanding. So to be a calm mind, the primordial importance is we should be able to execute these mind functions. You should be able to think in a coherent way. We should be able to reason in a coherent way. We should be able to understand without any stress or incoherences. So that is exactly what we can see here. So these are the 3 brainwave frequencies associated with thinking, reasoning and understanding. So when you are wearing a EEG headset, and when you are trying to make assessment of your mind, what you can see in the mind fitness system is, you can see how is your thinking, reasoning and understanding happening in the real time and in that moment. So this was a meditation which I did at 4:50 p.m. So from almost 20 minutes. So throughout the meditation session, the mind was having higher and lower power and frequencies, and by looking into the brainwave, this is called power spectral density of the brainwave frequency. So how much power I was using for thinking, how much power I was using for reasoning, and how much power I was using for understanding. So once you understand the power at which our mind functions operate, and if you can see how is the particular frequency having the features like how much it is wandering, how much it is unstable, how much it is breaching the order. So these 3 different features are what the ancient peoples used as a feature to identify the subjective experience. For example, they understood when you want to be calm in your mind, the first feature that we should develop is we should avoid any type of wandering in the mind, because if your mind starts to wander, that is actually an incoherence and it has to be brought back. So the feature in the subjective experience of wandering mind is visible in the brainwaves as well. So in the brainwave we can see if the particular frequency is having too much of movement in the right and left, that is called wandering. So we try to identify from the real time brainwave what is how much wandering is present during the session, and the stability is also a very important thing. So the ancient people represented the stability of the mind. Egyptians represented the stability of the mind with Amun or Jed pillar, and the same concept can be seen in the Quran as well as Amanu, Iman, Mu'min, etc. So the continuation of the wisdom is what we can understand from that wisdom of Egypt and Quran is the second feature which classifies the subjective experience of calmness is the stability of the mind. So if your mind is very grounded in yourself, that is not it's not wandering, and if you can maintain the stability of the mind, the higher and lower moment of the mind, then you have actually unlocked the next feature, or you have gained the subjective experience to reach into yourself. So the third feature, the people subjectively checking was, is there any breach of order? So in the Quran it is represented as fara'a, or overpowering. And when your brain wave, that means if your power to think overpowers your power to reason, that is actually an incoherence, because you are thinking, you are overthinking and using more energy, and your reasoning and your understanding are actually suffering because of it. And that same thing is visible when you have overthinking disorder. It is visible in the brain waves as well. So by understanding how much wandering is happening in the particular moment, by understanding how much instability is happening, and by understanding how much breach of order is happening, we can come to a score to identify the efficiency of that particular mind function. So this is the unique proposition of mind fitness, and we got inspired from the ancient wisdom of understanding the efficiency of your mind by checking the subjective experience of wandering, stability and breach of order. The same thing can be seen in the brain waves as well, and by identifying this we can come to a numerical number to understand the efficiency. So according to this session, I was able to maintain 94% calmness. So this is the real-time brainwave for calmness, and by checking how was my thinking, how was my reasoning, and how was my understanding happening, and the coherence in that mind functions, we were able to identify the efficiency of that particular mind functions. So in mind fitness we can see how was the state of mind. The important thing when you meditate is to use particular mind function only when it is required. So if you are thinking too much, it is a incoherent way of using your mind. If you want to meditate and go deeper into yourself, if you want to be calm, the best way is to use the thinking when it is required. If you don't want to think, then just be neutral. If you don't want to reason about something, just be neutral. If you don't want to understand, just be neutral. So that is exactly what we can see here. So during these meditation sessions, I was more neutral, and whenever I used thinking, it was coherent thinking. When I was reasoning, it was coherent. When I was understanding more, it was coherent understanding. And there were always there will be some incoherent patterns happening in the mind. So, but it was very less. So that is why I was able to be 94% calm. So what does it tells us is that the subjective experience of calm is when you are able to avoid all mind wandering, when you are able to maintain perfect stability in your mind and achieve a full stillness in yourself, and when you are able in a position to use your thinking only when it is required, to use your reasoning only when it is required, only use to try to understand only when it is required. That is the subjective experience of calmness. So, and the ability to avoid any mental health conditions like going in overthinking, or going to anxiety, or going to judgment. So if you can avoid all these incoherences and bring a very grounded, stable and still mind, that is the subjective experience of calmness, and that is measurable in your brain wave to a numerical value, and it can be used to train yourself on how to be calm, and it can be used to understand if your mind have any mental health conditions, or if the state of mind is going incoherent or coherent, or is it neutral, etc. So I hope this video would give you a understanding about how the ancient wisdom can be the ancient wisdom of the subjective experience can be compared with modern neuroscience tool. So if you are interested to try mind fitness system, we have a 7 days free trial. You can visit mindfitness.app, and if you have Muse EEG device, you can try out the system. So I'll be sharing my insight about neuroscience and ancient wisdom in this channel. So if you are a person following up these topics, please subscribe, and thank you for being with me.